As the unemployment rate continues to surge in the United States, Don Lemon takes the opportunity to make fun of people who are protesting because they want to go back to work. Before we look at the unemployment numbers themselves, let's see what he had to say.
Who are keeping this city running. They are disinfecting offices. They are cleaning people. They are changing bedpans. And they are working. And those people are out there complaining because they don't have haircuts? Who the hell do you think you are?
Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous. He's obviously not looking at the bigger picture, and he's just trying to score some political points and have fake outrage here. What's actually going on? Well, it should come as no surprise to you that there are a lot of people filing for unemployment right now. As a matter of fact, this past week, another 4.4 million people claimed unemployment benefits, which brings the grand total up to 26 million people in just the last 5 weeks alone. That number is unheard of and unprecedented. To give you more perspective of just how many people that is, out of the 159 million Americans who are employed during the month of February, currently 16.6% of them are now unemployed. Almost 17% of Americans who had a job just 2 months ago now do not. By way of comparison, if we look at the Great Recession back in 2009 and 2008, you can see that we had a fairly large unemployment spike. However, comparing that to today, it's not even remotely close. According to the Gallup poll, 1/4 of Americans who are currently working believe that in the next 12 months, they will not have a job. And even though Congress allotted $349 billion for the Paycheck Protection Act to help companies and those who are employed, they ran out of money in just 2 weeks, so the Senate had to approve another bill. These numbers are not great, but unfortunately it gets quite a bit worse. The UN warns that this economic recession, which could turn into a depression, could kill hundreds of thousands of children in this year alone. But not only that, tens of millions more could fall into extreme poverty. It's not just the United States that is struggling right now. The entire world is struggling. And since the United States is the global economic power, when we struggle, it makes it that much harder for everyone else. When the Great Recession hit, it hurt a lot of people around the world, not just here in America. So we need to find a way we can turn this around. Now, naturally, a lot of people are protesting because they're essentially being stuck at home, forced by the government. And some of the protesters aren't being very smart about it. For example, here we see that she wants to go to work, but a lot of these people aren't social distancing, there are no masks, nothing like that. On the other hand, this guy who wants to reopen schools in Utah is being smart about it because he's social distancing and there's no one around him. My point is, the protesters have a very valid point. They need to go to work, they want to reopen schools, they need the economy to essentially restart. That doesn't mean we need to open everything at once, but it does mean we have to take steps as soon as we can to start opening the economy because we cannot stand this. We already have 26 million people who are unemployed in the last 5 weeks alone. How much worse is it going to get if we continue this for a month or 2 months? Now, going back to Don Lemon's clip, he was talking about people complaining that they can't get haircuts. And believe it or not, this is all over the place on social media. I believe it stems from people like this, who admittedly are being pretty stupid. If you're protesting because you can't get a haircut right now, you need to get over it. Or maybe because you want to play golf, you also probably need to get over that. But at the same time, they're ignoring the person right next to the one who wants a haircut and whose sign says SOS, Save Our Small Businesses. There should be a B after that S, but whatever. They're focusing on the very few individuals who are being maybe a little bit ridiculous and ignoring the people who are just protesting because they have businesses they want to save and because they need to go to work. The problem I have with this Don Lemon clip is essentially trying to say that everyone who's protesting is doing so for a very stupid reason. But again, 26 million people have lost their jobs. That's a very valid reason to want to protest. It's also true that many local authorities are using significantly more power here than they really should. For example, in California, they dumped 37 tons of sand on a skate park because people kept wanting to skate. Maybe they were social distancing, I don't know, but this is a very, very extreme measure to waste so much time and effort to dump 37 tons of sand into a skate park. And to be honest, the result was actually pretty funny. They decided to start using dirt bikes in that skate park, which I think is pretty awesome. My point is, the protesters have very valid points, and dismissing their protests and calling them idiots just because they want to go back to work is not going to help anybody. We need to look at this and have a real plan for reopening the economy. If we don't, the unemployment numbers will continue to rise, millions more will be unemployed, and possibly hundreds of thousands of families and children will suffer in the long run. One last time, I'm not saying reopen everything right now, but we need to have some idea and some goal. We can't just continue like this for another month or two. That was a quick update on the unemployment numbers and where we stand so far in the United States. Let me know if you have any comments or questions down below, and be sure to like, share, and subscribe if you appreciated this content. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.